In Rockstar's latest GTA 5 online update, we've actually seen some fantastic discounts on vehicles in the game, as well as some businesses, and also some really good money bonuses, which I covered in my recent videos with the buyer's guide on Friday, as well as my money guide on the double money bonuses yesterday. Needless to say, it's been a busy weekend of content thus far, and while those discounts might be the highlight for many players, I don't want anyone to overlook the rare and remove vehicles from GTA 5 that were introduced as well in this week's update, for a limited time only. If you haven't visited the in-game car vendors yet, or if you just want some extra info on these vehicles, then stick around for a detailed analysis of these cars. We're going to explore their performance attributes, their features, maybe some customization options as well, overall just to help you decide if they're worth adding to your garage and collection or not. We have 4 different vehicles to review this week, so it's going to be fewer than what we've seen in the past couple weeks, but there's still a lot to discuss, so let's jump in. If you enjoyed this video at any point, or if you just find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you want to stay up to date with everything GTA Online and Rockstar games, then please consider hitting that subscribe button with your bell notifications turned on. So let's jump in with probably the best vehicle that's available this week, and that is the Dubach 770, available at Premium Deluxe Motorsport. And this car in GTA Online, it's a sports car, but it's extremely high performing, and it boasts a very high top speed of 124 miles an hour. But it doesn't quite reach the power and acceleration levels expected of a supercar, even though it looks like one, so just keep in mind it is a sports car. And it also has a heavier build than many other sports cars in the game, and also it being a rear-wheel drive car here, the 770 does suffer a little bit from slower acceleration as well as poorer traction compared to some of its all-wheel drive competitors. Despite being slightly heavier than the Rapid GT, it's also lighter than that 4-door Dubach Exemplar, as well as the Massacro, surprisingly. So if you've driven those other Dubach vehicles, maybe that will help give you some comparison between all those to help you make a decision on if it's worth buying. Also, the inclusion of a 6-speed gearbox with this car, I think overall enhances its speed potential in the long term, because it's going to give you that very, very slight edge over some other sports cars in the game that are limited to 5-speed gearboxes, which surprisingly there are quite a few of in the game for some reason. Also, it being a Dubach model, this vehicle draws inspiration from the Aston Martin 177, so it adds that touch of luxury and exclusivity, and I think it is the best purchase that you can make in terms of a removed vehicle this week. Next up, we have the Mo Revolter, which is also at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport. This car we did review because it was on discount this week, so we sort of talked about it in my buyer's guide, so you can get it on sale for 30% off as well, but we're just going to talk about basically some stuff. If you didn't watch that video, I'll just kind of like re-explain it here. So this car has pretty good acceleration here. It's actually going to surpass many other sports cars and even supercars. It's not going to be faster than that 770, of course, but thanks to its significant traction that eliminates wheel spin at launch, you will find it is a quick car. It can accelerate really fast. The top speed is only 116 miles an hour, so that's not particularly outstanding here, but overall the Revolter does prove advantageous in traffic, surprisingly. You can kind of push through other cars with ease because of its heavy weight and tackle those tight corners still, which is awesome. And also off-road, very smooth driving. It's very stable. There's not really a risk of spinning out and all that, so it provides a nice universal feel to this car. Surprisingly, it may not look like it, but it is pretty good. And although this vehicle does lack durability, you also can't upgrade it with armor plating, so that's going to result in this car kind of like falling apart, because all the components of this car upon impact are going to just become easily detached and fall off. But it does compensate for those negatives with it being all-wheel drive. And also you have the option to equip 2 front-facing machine guns on this car. It does offer decent enough firepower against lightly armored targets, but of course you're not going to want to go up against heavily armored vehicles because you're just not going to be effective on them at all. The weaponry also won't really dramatically enhance the car's performance, but I think it does add a unique feature, and that's kind of what distinguishes the Revolter among today's group, and it is inspired by the Cadillac Escala concept in real life. So overall with this car, you get high acceleration, robust handling, and specialized minor armaments, which make the Revolter a nice versatile choice for players out there who are looking for both performance as well as a little bit of offensive options in their vehicle selection. It's also probably the most unique looking Ubermacht vehicle too, in my opinion, so check it out if you want. After that, we have the ANUS Cognoscenti. This car has a massive engine in the game. It's only like decent in terms of speed and top speed, things like that. I'd say good enough acceleration, but of course the massive size of this vehicle is going to affect its versatility here. The handling, of course, is, as you would expect, sluggish. It has a wide turning radius, slow response to the steering, and of course heavy weight, a long wheelbase, and low cornering capability. But the crash resilience, I would say, is exceptional because it has such a big mass to it. Braking performance is also below average. Design-wise, it draws heavily from the Maybach 62, incorporating nice front-end design elements from the first-generation Bentley Continental flying spur as well. In contrast, I would say the armored version of the Cognoscenti, although not available this week, it does add significant resilience with armor plating capable of withstanding considerable amounts of damage from explosives and gunfire, so that should be your overall choice, but we do have the normal Cognoscenti offered this week. Just keep in mind, the armored version is of course going to be superior. And then finally, we end up with the Vapid Hustler. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this may sound like I'm coping here talking about this car. The Hustler isn't terrible, but you should know I don't like it. I never review it favorably. It's just not good. The Hustler muscle car in GTA, it can match the speed of other muscle cars like the Dukes and the Armored Dukes, but it seriously lacks in the handling department. It's not really ideal unless you're just a fan of hot rods, then of course pick it up if you want. It has great resistance to damage. It doesn't really get scratched up and the windows don't break, which is kind of cool right here. The damage is going to be minimal on this car. However, the main downfall is, of course, the poor braking on the Hustler and the huge propensity for oversteer. You're going to spin out all the time, especially on those sharp turns, or you're just going to plow understeer, and this thing like kind of sucks in that regard. So the traction and handling of this car are just not good. I would say this car performs decently in races with open tracks, straight lines, and minimal hard corners, but you're going to struggle significantly on if you try and take this thing on dirt roads, where its lightweight and handling flaws are going to frequently result in you spinning out, crashing, rolling over, you name it. Now, despite its shortcomings, because of its great damage resistance, it is kind of a fun choice if you want to use this hot rod as a two-person getaway vehicle, but if you're like me, you may hear that and just say, who cares? And I would completely agree with you on that. But that's going to wrap up our exploration of these 4 vehicles returning to GTA Online in the latest update. We highlighted a couple models here. The 770, which is really good. Mo Revolter, which is also good, the NUS Cognoscenti, which is kind of like below average, and then the Hustler, which I would just say is bad, but it's not absolutely the worst vehicle in the game. But overall, all these cars are kind of rare, and them being reintroduced adds some nice value for collectors out there who may have been waiting for them to return. So definitely don't miss out and at least test drive these vehicles this week and see for yourself if you like them or not. As always though, hopefully you all enjoyed the video here today, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best GTA Online, Red Dead Online, and of course Rockstar Games content as a whole, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing we post here on the channel. We consistently talk about updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube, and you're more than welcome to ask me any questions on those platforms. You can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of my social media links can be found in the description box down below. With all that being said, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 online video. Adios, amigos.